here live in our studio. We're feeling the warmth of inspiration with the knitters from 67 Blankets for Nelson Mandela Day. As we continue to inspire you, Carolyn Steyn is here with us, as well as Timothy Moloi, who is one of the ambassadors for the movement of 67 Blankets for Nelson Mandela Day. He is actually knitting his third blanket right now, which, if you can check this out, this is very trendy. I could see that in an outfit somewhere.
I'm getting orders now.
Wow. And this is called crocheting, by the way.
Yes, exactly. So he's doing crocheting, they're knitting on the other side.
Yes.
But recently we, as South Africans, remembered the one-year anniversary of the passing of Nelson Mandela on the 5th of December. Do you perhaps remember where you were last year when it happened? Because I can remember very clearly that I was driving back from an event and it was in the evening and the radio was randomly on and it stopped suddenly and there was this announcement by President Jacob Zuma.
I was in bed and I knew that there was, it was possibly imminent, and I was on Facebook and I saw the first notification, and then I switched on the news and there it was. Yeah.
And right now we're looking at a picture of you and Madiba. How long ago was that and what was happening there?
That was probably about 10 years ago. My husband built a home for him on our game farm, and we used to spend a lot of time with him there. And he used to come to Shambhala to rest and to get away from it all.
That's
it was a sanctuary. Yeah.
It's a very special memory. Timothy, do you have a special memory of Madiba when you think back?
A wonderful memory. I was actually when I was performing at Shambhala. I think it was 2001 or 2002, I think.
Yeah.
It was for Carolyn and Steyn and for Madiba and Grassa and the King Willem Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands. It was just a private performance just for the few of them. Just for a few people.
Very
and it really was. And when you spend time with the great man, the few minutes that he gives to you, you know that he's giving those minutes to you, and that is just precious.
And indeed, he gave so many years of his life to us as South Africans. Let's talk a bit about what 67 Blankets is essentially doing, in your view at least, to celebrate Madiba's life.
I think that what we're doing every day is we are continuing the legacy. In every stitch that we make, we are doing something in the name of Nelson Mandela, making a difference with our own two hands. Madiba said, "It is now in your hands. I thank you." And with us, the Knitwits from Madiba, it literally is in our hands. Stitch by stitch, we pledge to make a difference, to keep people warm over all the winters to come in the name of Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. Tell me about this picture. It's a very special one of something that happened very recently at Nelson Mandela Square.
We went and yarn bombed Nelson Mandela Square.
Please say that again so we can hashtag it.
We yarn bombed Nelson Mandela Square. We just yarn bombed the Nelson Mandela Foundation. So when people drove in on December 5th, the anniversary of Madiba's death, all the trees are covered in warmth.
That's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And I mean, Timothy, for you as an ambassador right now, why did you choose to get involved with this movement?
Well, I chose to get involved. Carolyn had started the movement, and whenever I saw her, literally whenever you see her, she's got a crochet hook and she's always doing it.
Yes.
And I just thought, you know what, let me just teach myself. So I went onto YouTube, did a few lessons, a couple of days, and I started crocheting and knitting. Actually, what's beautiful is that when you see the people receive the blankets, you know that that blanket is going to be with them, for a lifetime. I mean, I remember the things that my grandmother, crocheted for us.
That
are still with us.
Memory.
And people don't sometimes underestimate the importance of having a blanket. I mean, if you've never needed. If you've had to do without one, you know how much you need it.
We take it so for granted, and then when you come across people who just don't have, it is...
It is. And the fact that they know that you've spent hours, hundreds of hours making a blanket just for them. And it's something that just doesn't happen on that day.
It happens every single day. And listen, we are so thankful to have you yarn bombing our studio right now. I hope there's all over the show. Timothy's going to be performing a bit later on, and we're still chatting to Carolyn a little bit later on as well. If you want to find out more, go to www.67blankets.co.za. Right now, let's continue our 15 days of Expresso Madness.